Good evening, friends. It's Miss Patty with Goodnight, Sweetheart Storytime here at Samuel's Public Library. I'm here with Teddy, and we have a couple of nice stories I think you will like. And one of them I'm pretty sure you've heard of before, Ferdinand the Bull. Maybe you've even seen the movie. It's such a great story. So I just wanted to remind you, we still have our summer reading program going on. And oh, Teddy and I would love to show you this week's prizes are some really cute little birds. There's flamingo. This is kind of my favorite. I like flamingo the best, and little parrot. So these are just a few. Of course, if you haven't gotten a beach ball. Yes, the beach ball with a critter inside. Yes, that's very fun too. So I hope you're having a great summer day. And now that it's time to say goodbye to this day and get ready for bed and settle down all cozy, I hope you're having a fun week. And this is Ferdinand. So there you go, Teddy. You can sit and listen too. There you go. Ferdinand by Monroe Leaf. Once upon a time in Spain. Spain is kind of far away, isn't it? Across the Atlantic Ocean. There was a little bull, and his name was, you guessed it, Ferdinand. It's pretty cute. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. No. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. Do you like to sit quiet and smell the flowers sometimes? Just like Ferdinand. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree, where it's nice and shady. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Very content. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head, she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. He does look very happy, doesn't he? As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. Very big. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting and leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting. And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Is that a problem? I think so. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Uh-oh. Look at Ferdinand's face. Have you ever been stung by a bee? Not fun at all. Wow, did it ever hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground as if he was crazy. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. There goes Ferdinand. To Madrid. What a day it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing. And all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the bandoleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Yikes. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Yeah. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome, and he bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. Look at Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandoleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Look at how scared they all look of fierce Ferdinand. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. Look at all those people. And there's little Ferdinand, actually big Ferdinand, but he looks little there, doesn't he? But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw all the flowers in all the lovely lady's hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. Look, there he is, sitting and smelling. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled, and the bandoleros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and his sword. There they are, all very mad. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And so they did. And for all I know, he's sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just quietly. And he is very happy. The end. Yay for Ferdinand. I like Ferdinand the bull. We should all be so happy and content as Ferdinand, right? So I have another story for you. Where to sleep? Are you getting sleepy? I bet you know right where you're supposed to sleep, don't you? Do you have a favorite blanket and a favorite cuddle toy? I hope so. Where to sleep with the sweet kitty. Where to sleep. If I were a kitten, where would I sleep? I could sleep with a sweet little cow. But she's not ready for bed right now. Aren't the illustrations lovely? I like these pictures. I could sleep in the vegetable patch. Maybe you have a garden with vegetables. But I'd be looking for bunnies to catch. I could sleep with the chicken flock. But they stay up late and talk, talk, talk. I could sleep on the old porch swing. But it's too crowded with toys and things. I could sleep in a soft brown shoe. But it's too small, so that won't do. Maybe when he was a tiny kitty, he could hide in a boot or shoe. I could sleep in an old armchair. But someone else already sleeps there. Not a good idea. If I were a kitten, where would I sleep? Where do you think? Do you have any guesses? All curled up at my best friend's feet. The end. Everybody's ready for sleep. I hope you have a lovely night's rest and wake up bright and ready for a new day tomorrow. I hope you can come into the library and say hello and get some books and maybe some prizes. So have a lovely rest of your night. Take care. Bye-bye.